It's about time for a training montage. Well, Zach, how do you feel after that training montage?
I feel amazing. I feel invigorated because moving always gets me invigorated. In fact, I can get depressed sometimes if I don't move. And I think it's the world around me, but it's really just the fact that I haven't been moving.
All right, well guys, welcome to another episode. Not that there are episode names, but your name is Carlton Zac Potter.
Carlton Zac Potter.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you?
I am a health coach and I teach strength, movement patterns. I mix in a little bit of yoga, some classic weight training and more CrossFit, a little bit of track and field and gymnastics. I mix it all together and I have a heavy emphasis on why. Why are we doing this? Why are we taking care of our health? And what is the driving motive?
And so a lot of this channel is about being a joy activist, about finding joy. How can exercise and fitness give you joy?
Scientifically, it's going to increase your endorphin levels. It is important to move because otherwise we can become sad and kind of encased in our own physical muscular armor as we atrophy into stiffness. But it is important to get your cardiovascular to make sure your blood can flow through your body and your heart can pump lots of oxygen to all your cells. You want to feel strong. You want to keep your endocrine system, especially your testosterone levels, up from doing strength activity. But there's a lot interrelated, and we can find article after article about how fitness and strength training actually makes you happier and more joy-filled.
All right, so I've heard the quote, it says, nothing tastes as good as being in shape fills. And I often wonder, why do I eat this pizza when the pleasure only lasts for what, a couple minutes? Then I kind of feel bad the rest of the day. I'm not happy with how I look in the mirror right now.
I think it comes down to the human nature of desiring short-term satisfaction over long-term wisdom and gains. Because getting fit doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. And getting fat doesn't happen overnight. So what happens is we make these small choices and we think it's just gonna be this one time, and it adds up. And then we end up having to look in stark contrast at a person, just like you talked about with finances, that they've been doing fitness activities week after week in real habits. And then we contrast and we're like, wow, they can do this activity that I can't. They're standing upright with posture and they're pain-free. They're able to play around with these kids, unlike me right now, because I've taken a different path. And it always hurts. And then you have to ask yourself, does this pizza really taste what I've sacrificed for the habit of eating pizza all the time? Because you can still eat pizza, you can still make luxury choices, you can make a luxury budget, but you have to have your fundamentals down and you have to get into a good habit of that. Being fit, it's so tough too because it's hard to be grateful for anything. It is a muscle, just like you say. Gratitude is a muscle you have to work out. So you can be fit and be eyeing someone fitter than you and be unhappy with your fitness and not realize you can do all these things until you lose it and you realize, oh wow, I've had something now I can't even play with my own kids. I used to, but I kept on envying someone slightly fitter than me. So no matter what, we want to be grateful for the things we have.
And I like how you talked about our habits and consistency. Bruce Lee, he said, consistency beats intensity every time. And so for me, I've been on a yo-yo diet where I'll be like dieting really hard and eating meats and veggies, and then, you know, I have a bad day or I feel stressed out and then I eat ice cream or go to McDonald's, which is cheap and easy. What do you think about accountability, and is that important? How do you get people to have an accountability structure?
I think accountability works better for some people than others. If you do want accountability structure, doing a dietary program with a friend or someone that you feel connected with, that you don't want to let down. It's just like going to work. Sometimes it's harder to set the alarm on a random day that we have these plans that we want to do something around the house. I'm sure we all know this, that, oh, I want to do this big thing. So I'll get up really early and I'm going to do all these things and it'll be amazing. But because we don't have to, and there's nobody we have to show up and meet, we don't do it. So when we have to go to work, it can be dead early. If we know somebody's waiting there for us, it gives a huge power, because I do think that human beings are meant to be interdependent. So it's almost outside our nature to do completely solo tasks. Some can do it and some can do it well. But as a whole, Most people are interdependent. We want to do things with groups and with other people. So if you can join a dietary pattern with a friend and they're doing it as well, all of a sudden you feel accountable. You feel like you can't make this choice to stop by Wendy's or whatever it happens to be, because you know that they also made the same sacrifice. And you know if you're in a positive, faithful relationship, whether that's friend or intimate, that you're not going to lie to them, you're going to always tell them the truth, then you're not going to do it. Now, when you have to talk to yourself, you can talk yourself into just about anything. So doing healthy activities with friends is huge. I do think it's really important to be accountable. And I personal train. One of the biggest reasons I personal train, yes, I'm a great teacher. When my client has paid for me and they know that they have to show up because I'm there at 7 a.m. or whatever it happens to be, they're going to show up at 7 a.m. They're going to work out hard. Why? Because I'm staring at them. And I say, no, give me one more. Can you do better than that? We got it. And I'm nice, I'm kind, but I'm saying, let's do this. So they're gonna do it. When you're there by yourself, don't you wanna make coffee? You know, it's like, you don't have to. So accountability can be huge. And I think that's back to the interdependent human relationship of doing things together.
Let's talk real quick about why. It's very important to know your why for health, your why for fitness. Originally, I was trying to be in shape because I was single and I wanted to be more marketable. Then I got in shape because I wanted to look good for my wedding pictures. Now I'm a father, I got a dad bod, but I want to be in shape to be able to play with my son and be healthy for him. Can you talk about our why?
Why is the core root of anything we do. Your motives is what motivates you. Finding out what is your why, or if you don't have a why, confronting that you don't have a why, because that's where everything comes from. Everything we do has some kind of root drive before it. So I do think though we can start to open our eyes. If we start to think about it, we can be like, you know, logically, say for your child specifically, you said you want to work out so you can play with your kid. On the everyday, you're not dealing with not being able to play with your kids. So if you don't think about it consciously, you won't be confronted with that. So you won't have to confront that why. So you won't have to confront the response to that, which is, I need to work out today for Kate. You know, I have to take care of him, so I need to go ahead and invest now, because you're not thinking about it. So I think it's important to right here, right now, and whenever we can, to confront those things and remind ourselves to remember, okay, why is this? Because when we remember and we see, okay, it makes sense that if I take care of myself now, it'll be best for myself and for others later. And we really understand it. Now that we have that conscious understanding, it's just logic. And then we have to confront, okay, what's the process? How do I plan that? How do I go about implementing some kind of a health plan? Because unless I'm a fool, it's obviously wiser to take care of myself than to abandon taking care of myself. To me, if you actually think about it, why would anyone abandon their health? It makes no sense to abandon your health.
There's never a convenient time to get healthy, and there's always going to be an excuse. You've taught me to work out around my injuries. Are there any injuries that you've had, and do you stop working out or do you work out around it? What does that mean?
Yeah, I work out around my injuries. An injury is an opportunity to work on something else. I had a really bad back injury where I had a double herniation of my disc, had an annular tear of it. It was a big mess. Recommended surgery. I tried to heal it myself. I am healing it myself. I was carrying a huge log. A storm was coming in. I slipped and twisted and basically had a slip and fall with a big weighted carry, and it tore me up bad. So with that, I've been working pull-ups, things around it. I do balance, I do decompression, I do core work. So I work around my injury and it's been getting better. I highly recommend to not use an injury as an excuse that you can't work out. You have to lean into that and say, how do I work out around this injury?
You know, I think time is our most precious commodity. I find it interesting. You can take the richest person in the world, but if they don't have their health, they're willing to spend all their money to get their health back. Why do you think we neglect health in order for work and career and success?
I think it's a simple thing where we neglect things, kind of take for granted the opposite of gratitude. We take for granted the things that we already have. My favorite sayings is, with youth comes grace, but with age necessitates wisdom. With youth comes grace. You're young, you can do a lot of stuff to your health. You can just eat a pizza, you can not sleep, you can not take care of yourself, and your body will kind of hang on there. But with age, if you don't take care of yourself, it will destroy you. So it necessitates wisdom. You have to learn how to prune and take care of your body to be able to feel normal, let alone great. I like to lead everybody, just like financial wealth, to think about their physicality as an element of wealth and to invest early. Because a lot of times too with wealth, we're told, oh, you should go ahead and invest early. It really makes a big difference. And I implore you and anyone watching, if you're young and you've got your health, invest in it. Try to get as strong as you can while you're young, because the old saying, going over the hill and going down the hill, if you raise up your physical fitness very, very high, you go a long way to coast. I'm 41, you know, I just did 23 pull-ups the other day. So I don't have to, at 41, learn how to do a pull-up. I've already capitalized on levels of strength. So now, as my age continues, I can kind of coast on that. I hope to continue to get stronger. It's really important while you're young to make the most out of it, especially even in youth.
Each pound of muscle burns 50 calories. And so you've turned yourself into a machine. You work out really hard, so you're burning more calories than someone like me who might just do a few push-ups here and there. So can you talk about calories in exercise?
So there are some estimates around pound of muscle burns around 50 calories. I've heard things like that. I don't know if they've put a specific number on that, but in general, the more musculature you have, the more calories you are going to burn. Your resting metabolic rate is what it's called. You are going to burn more if you have a level of muscular mass. So it is important to keep some muscle mass on you. With health, I just focus on getting individuals strong. I like them to be able to pick up their own body weight. So I use different metrics to allow a person to be strong in different dimensions. And when a person tries to be strong in different core areas of strength, they end up having muscle, and that muscle usually accelerates their metabolism and it allows them to be able to consume more and have a little bit lower body fat percentage if that is their goal. Now, there's an old saying, you can't outwork a bad diet. Say if I'm gonna go work out to work off my poor choices of food, truth is the workout's gonna make me hungry. So after a workout, I'm actually gonna be really hungry. So if I can't make the decision to not eat pizza with a Snickers ice cream snack, a little bit of chocolate, a Dr. Pepper with it, a snack later, if I can't make those choices and we can have moderation, you can have treats here and there, but if you can't make choices to have some salmon with some potatoes and broccoli on the regular, or at least semi-regular, you're gonna always struggle there. It doesn't matter how much you work out, you'll never have huge weight losses. Now that's still a personal decision. Some people might not mind having a little extra fat, and if you're still working out, you will get stronger. So you will still keep your strength if strength is your goal and you measure your strength to improve your strength.
I remember preparing for my wedding, I was 220 pounds and using Zac's book methods and his wisdom, I was able to get down to 199 pounds, which was my goal weight. I've since sprung up, but that's my fault. I have the head knowledge, now I just need to use the discipline. We kind of did a thing of high protein and a lot of vegetables.
In general, if you want to lean out, most people eat too many carbs, and to increase your vegetables, not specifically potatoes, you can have potatoes, but in specificity, adding more broccoli, more greens, increasing your roughage as a whole, and then adding good portions, making sure you do get all the protein you need will allow you to feel full and will in general lower body fat if that is a person's goal. And there are a lot of people that are leaning towards obese and they need to substitute a starch for a protein or a vegetable in a behavior pattern.
I also believe that the fit get fitter, if you will, and then the unhealthy get unhealthier if you're talking about lifestyles. You talked about debt. I'm 40 pounds over my ideal body weight right now. So I'm in a sense 40 pounds in debt. While you have a resource of increase, like you have a lot of muscle, there's more playroom. Can you unpack that a little bit?
We have to confront it is a habit. And just like saving year after year, if we get fitter year after year, we continue to have better posture year after year. We continue to have better endocrine levels. I remember you said, kind of 40 pounds overweight. When you work out and do strength training, you're actually using a muscular fuel inside of your muscles called glycogen. It's just glucose, but it's stored inside your muscles with water. It's called glycogen. Okay. When I do a strength training set, you go into a glycogen debt, which is actually, in this analogy, it's almost like a savings account. So I'm saying debt, but it's actually the opposite. So when you do your workout, your body needs to refill the fuel inside the muscle, not the fat, inside the muscle. So now your next couple meals, you are going to be not worrying about gaining fat as much as you'll be recompensating energy inside your muscle. So I will sometimes be for 2 days, I can eat all kinds of pizza and stuff. And my muscles will grow larger when I eat what others would be like, how is he eating that? And it's like, well, if you understood the workout I just did and a workout that I built up to, that is why I'm able to eat these things and they're actually refueling me instead of something I have to burn off later, which is people are not used to that concept. So once again, that concept, people think, oh, I eat and then I burn it off. If you get into a really good strength habit, you actually work out and then you're in debt inside your muscles. And now when you eat, you're refilling your muscle instead of adding to fat cells.
Hello, let us begin by introducing ourselves. I am Hans.
And I'm Franz.
And we want to pump you up.